information model, what can we do with it? Can you do photo montages for me? Yes, we can. So basically we link a GPS camera to take photographs, put them into our model and produce a before and an after. Now this is not just a presentation view of the bridge, this is the actual model of the bridge, so it's accurate. Again, another before and another after. So I think it's a good example of where, you know, BIM can help us offer different services, because before this we would have gone external to do photo montages. We didn't need to in this project. The Swords Underground Interchange is another challenging underground interchange that again really needed to be BIM or 3D modelled, both. Pretty complicated underground structure. Just a view of it. Again, this would have been modelled in Civil 3D, and the structure itself would have been modelled in Revit structure. As I say, it would have been very complicated if we hadn't used the 3D route, but going 3D route and the BIM route, you know, it simplified things down into various components that eventually fitted together to create quite a complex structure. I think what this does is it helps us visualize and make sure that, you know, we're doing things the way they're supposed to be done. It helps contractors because they can see what they're going to have to build, and it's a model that's available for everyone to view and do what they need to do with. Just some other rendered views. I think the quality of render is, you know, for civil and structural engineers is quite good. I would take Sean's point on, you know, for architectural views, because we do link to 3D Studio Max as well. Underground civils also model. Again, it's something you wouldn't maybe link with BIM, but really BIM encompasses everything from what we see and what we don't see. And for us, it's a very powerful tool in modelling existing and underground services, and of course the whole clash detection, which, you know, seems to get rolled out in all these talks, but it actually is one of the most key things to BIM is clash detection and making sure things are right before you go to site. Because if we don't give that value to the contractor, contractors aren't going to embrace what we're doing. So I think, you know, clash detection is still a big element of what we do, and our clash detection would be done through Navisworks. As I say, we started small, and I think for anyone out there who's maybe thinking or just starting off in the BIM, I think you really have to start small. Bring your staff with you. You know, training budgets are, you know, they're small if non-existent. So really, you know, training a few people and getting those people to organically train others is probably a good way to go. I think another important thing is, you shouldn't just train people and not have a project for them to go on to almost immediately. I think it's important that they take what they learn and improve on a project almost immediately. I suppose as we've worked our way along the last 6 years, we've come across little add-ons and extra services that we can offer and extra things that we can do to make ourselves competitive and to improve our processes within our own company. And one very important link for us is the link between an analysis package and what we call, you know, the BIM model. I think it's very important that you know, one aids the other for both efficient design, optimal design, also to make us efficient as a company. Now, in the early days, we had very big problems with linking analysis packages with essentially the Revit package, but that is improving dramatically in the last couple of years. And now I think we're in a comfortable state where we can link our analytical models with our Revit models. Site master planning is a byproduct that BIM can bring huge advantages to, particularly for clients who have existing buildings, existing site, and want to put a new building on the site. So this is just an example of a project where we worked with the client, we modelled his site, we did a digital terrain model, we modelled in his existing buildings, not shown here, but we could overdrape with an aerial photograph to make it more realistic. But what it does is it gives the client the opportunity to move his building around, to change the design of the building, and be happy before he commits too much money towards actually the full design of the building. So it works quite well, and it's something we've done with a number of our clients recently. Again, it's something that's, you know, it's just using the tool. Cut and fill quantities, very important on our side of the business, particularly on road projects. You know, civil 3D, certainly probably all the other civil projects are software as well. You know, there's a brilliant tool in there for cut and fill, which, as I say, on road projects is a huge element, and particularly important to optimize. So just an example of a project we did in Cork, where we did a little man-made lake to infill. We did our quantities off civil 3D literally in half an hour, and you know, the proof is in the pudding. They worked out extremely accurate on site, so it's just a good byproduct. Another one from our roads people would be the linkage and data management of site investigation information and whole use of GIS linking into BIM. Basically, you know, for a roads project, you're going to have a whole waft of information for site investigation, and trying to manage that is quite difficult. What we found is you can, you know, link civil 3D, GIS, and spreadsheets to manage that information very well for you. So again, it's a tool that makes us efficient. Linkage of BIM and GIS. I suppose my take on GIS is GIS tells you what's there, but BIM makes sure it's right. So linking both is a natural thing. So, you know, GIS is at a top layer, it gives you all the information of what should be there, but underneath you have the BIM model that accurately models what's actually there. So it's a good linkage, and it's one we're working on. Creating physical 3D models is another thing. Basically, once you have your model, it can be used to create a physical model. There are companies out there who can take files from you and produce basically plastic models that are laser cut from your own file. You just issue them the file, they do the model. So it's almost for free from the consultant's point of view. CITA modelling is something that our UK colleagues are looking at. This is a real-time GIS model of the City of Manchester. I've also seen one of Cardiff. So really, you can zoom in on this model in real time, and it'll tell you streets, buildings, whatever information you put in will be there as a real-time information back to you. So it's something that the local authorities in the UK are investing money into to manage their stock. 4D and 5D, I think 4D basically linking the model to schedule and 5D to costs. I suppose we've certainly done quite a bit of work in the last couple of years in 4D, where we, you know, again, it's taking the model that you already have and making it useful to a contractor, which I think is important for us to progress BIM. Basically, you link the information of your model to the contractor schedule, and I just have an AVI file there in a second to show an example. 5D, while we've taken off a lot of quantities, we haven't done a lot of work to date on linking in with QSs, but it's something that we're aiming to do in the future. Site models and animation, probably more relevant to civil projects. Again, it's using the information you already have. If you have a full road project modelled, then you can animate it. It's really just another step on. So I just have an example of that in an AVI as well. So just bear with me now, just... Yeah.
Oh, shock off that. My God. How did that happen? Nah, which one is it?
No. Yeah. Maximize.
Yeah. No problem.
Good. So just stop that a sec.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Okay.
So this is just an example of a 4D output. It's very quick now, just to give you an idea. And it's really linking a project we did in the UK, which we had modelled anyway, so it was linking the various pieces of the model to the contractor's program. Now it's vastly speeded up there, but you can go in depth as you want, literally do it pile by pile, beam by beam. But it's a powerful tool for contractors, particularly if they're doing design and build projects, as a presentation tool as to how they're going to win, how they're going to manage this project. So it's certainly a very strong byproduct of BIM, and it's created for us. We've created this through Navisworks.
Second one now, is it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to shock this time, am I?
Yeah. This is just an example of taking a civil 3D model and producing an animation of it. This animation would be basically the bridge you see would have been modelled in Revit. The roads and the landscape would have been modelled in Civil 3D, and the whole lot would have been exported to 3D Studio Max. And VSP Dynamite. So it's really enhancing your product. It's adding on an extra service for information that you already have. So this has worked out quite well, and we've actually got a couple of inquiries to do more work in this area. So it's, as I say, it's maximising a benefit to consultant from BIM. So that is a model. It's not real. Okay. So I think my basic message is in Arup we are embracing BIM. We'd love to have more projects to use it on, but I think the key message is we certainly don't feel ourselves being there 100%. We've started small, we've built it gradually, we're continuing to build it. I think that is the way for BIM to be progressed in the industry. Thank you very much.